So if you're watching the replay of this, it is April 13th, and this is 7th period, 8th grade art. So a few things to start. Not everybody's turned in their last couple assignments, but I wanted to assure you that I'm not going to count off points for them being late, but I do want to help everybody get those in as soon as possible, just so that your grade doesn't look bad. And the only reason that I'm putting those grades in right now, too, is because I want you and your parents to know if you're missing something. Because some people have put things in certain places, some people put things in other places, maybe I missed it. I just want everybody to know where I stand with your grades and what I have for you, okay? So that's why the grades look like that, and your grades are updated. So if you want to look at them for my class, they are completely updated now, if you're not entirely sure if you have everything in correctly. And I think most of you guys here have your stuff in, but I just want to lay that out there. All the projects should only take you 20 minutes a week. So we've been out for a few weeks, and so even if you're missing all the assignments, that should take you maybe an hour to catch up. So like, you got it, you can do it. So I wanted to share the screen here. I want to show y'all some of the things we got from the assignment from last week, which is so funny. I didn't pull them all because it would take me forever, but I want to show you some of them. So if you haven't done it yet, the assignment from last week was to recreate some of the masters. So to find a famous work of art and recreate it with photos. Some people, some people went really extra with it, and they drew the thing because I think they didn't read the instructions entirely, and maybe they didn't watch the video. But you didn't have to draw the thing. So if you did, you still get points. Fantastic. But the assignment was actually to set it up and take a photo. So Lily, these made me smile so much, you guys, and like in a time of like not knowing what's going to happen and being kind of sad and bored sometimes, like opening these and putting a huge smile on my face was absolutely fantastic. So you're Frida Kahlo here. It's a famous Hispanic artist, and she's famous for that unibrow, and I thought like this was hilarious. She used her little sister, Brianna Harris's. We got these are 2 7th graders, and I think it's interesting how some people took it as like do the pose, and some people kind of like adapted and added in some other colors. But also I really love how people like kind of grabbed things around their house to just make it work. So Stormy has like a roll of toilet paper and a random blanket, but she's in a similar pose as this girl. I can't remember her name because I've only had her for like a week. Addie, I think. She had like even put a filter over this. This is Emily's. Emily, I didn't get the I think it's Emily's, but I didn't get the picture that was with it yet. But it's just a setup of a still life. So what things would you set up if you were setting up things that are typical of right now to draw from? That's what you would set up. And I wanted to show y'all some of the 9th graders too that I really liked. So this is Eli Nason's. And I like that he even like went through and found a lot of detail with just things that he had already in his house. And he's injured, so he used his crutch as well. And this one is, move y'all's faces. This is an abstract painting here, and then they just recreated the abstract painting with toilet paper. And then this is Bryce Hanger, and this is 9th graders. He instead of the girl with the pearl earring, it's Bryce with an AirPod, and like I don't even know what this is, like a bandana, but it's just funny. And then this is instead of a fan and these olden-timey clothes, she grabbed a Lysol can and a robe. So if you haven't done the project yet, hopefully these gave you some ideas. Instead of a lamb, she used her dog. But yeah, it was just really fun. I like it. And I want you guys to have fun with these projects and not stress yourself out about them. Like, it's art. I don't want you to stress out about what you're creating. I want you to enjoy creating it. Okay? Hi, Briar. So this is going to be your next project. I'm excited to share it with you. So it's called #Corona Mason, and I'll explain why in a minute. So this artist, Pélénope Bagieu, she is an illustrator and she writes children's books. She lives in Paris right now. And so she's going through this whole thing that we're all going through, right? And I wanted to show you guys some of her stuff because she's not one of those artists that looks at a tree and paints a tree that looks exactly like a tree. She does these like kind of kooky, weird doodles, and that's also okay. So I think a lot of people think that they suck at art if they don't do something super detailed and realistic, but that's not the case at all. Really, like as long as you add detail and interest and color and different things to artwork, it can be a little bit more simplified. And here are some examples of like her comic book figures and kind of how simple and kooky and how she bounces the color around. I've been following, I've looked her up on Instagram. It's cool again that you can look up artists on Instagram. There's a picture of her behind the scenes life. You know, she's got her cat, her camera, her yarn. She's been doing doodles of characters based off this time. She's been drawing things in her house. But she put out this challenge, and she's French, so that's in French, but I'm going to translate it for you, where she challenged people to create a visual representation, so some kind of artwork that is representative of what you would like your ideal place to be quarantined in to be. So the floor, the decorations, the people that are with you. Do you want animals? What kind of food do you want? Do you want windows? Like, I don't want to be quarantined in a place with no windows. So if you only had one room to be quarantined in, what would be in it? And that's kind of the question that she asked people. So I want to show you, this is hers that she created. And the template, again, look at it. It's so super simple. And so she added windows and added pictures on the side of the wall and cacti and a hammock and a puzzle. And it's like one of those picture find books where you can just continue finding things in it. If you look at each thing individually, especially like think about these plants or this lamp or these cups, they're not super difficult doodles to draw. I always teach my classes, if you're just trying to doodle things, like look up, if you're trying to doodle a dog or a corgi, instead of just typing in corgi to Google Images, look up corgi clip art or corgi doodle, and you can find simplistic ways to draw these things. You are going to create this, but just because I only want to give you guys 20 minutes a week, we're going to break it down to a couple weeks. So just so you know, we are going to create these, but it's going to be a little bit down the road. This type of artwork is an example of exquisite corpse. And this is the French phrasing for it that I don't know how to pronounce properly. But an exquisite corpse drawing is when artists create works on one theme. So we're all going to create an artwork based on one theme. But you don't know what other people are doing, which is kind of cool because like we're all in different places right now. If we were in class, it would be hard to do this anonymously, which we wouldn't be doing this exact project if we were in class, obviously. But it would be hard to do this anonymously because there's 30 of you guys. But since we're all in our own homes, we can do an exquisite corpse thing because we don't know what other people are doing. So with an exquisite corpse artwork, a bunch of different people create. They don't know what other people are creating, and then they put it all together is this one big artwork at the end. And so what this artist has done, that artist that put out that challenge, is she has taken all of these responses that people are creating and put them in one giant web page. So that way when you scroll through, you're seeing everybody's ideal quarantine life. Different artists are creating their room, and it's becoming a collective room. So I think that that's a cool concept too, because like right now we're on Zoom and like we're all coming from our own homes, but collectively having a class, and it's kind of the same concept to me. So I think it's kind of interesting. So I want to show you a few examples of professional artists and how they responded. So this artist, Nicolas Gendron, he, on the right here, here's some of his artwork. And it's kind of kooky. He has these weird characters. It's very dreamlike. He has kind of a color palette that he works within. And this is what he created. So it doesn't have to be grounded in reality. If you want to put a dragon in your coronavirus room, I don't really care. But he put like some of his kooky weird figures, and he made it like a jungle situation, which I think is really interesting. But again, look at the detail. It's not super hard to draw bricks, but just having that little extra detail makes it more interesting to look at. This is an artist that does pen and ink drawing, and he lives in a studio apartment, which is like an apartment with pretty much one room. So he drew a lot of the things that were in his current space. And so you got your TV, you got your mini fridge. Here's a workspace right here, some yoga mats, a drawing table. And some people are even taking this concept and creating it with other things like Legos. So it's really cool. There's still the staircase over here, but they're creating their ideal space with Legos instead, and then just took a picture. So I think that that's really creative and cool. A bunch of other French artists have responded. I put a link here. But again, like, you can see the variety here. And I think that that's what's really cool about art during this time. I keep saying it is because it can respond to who you are as a human in your exact circumstance and the things that you are interested in. So if you're really interested in basketball, I don't want you to not choose basketball to put it on here. I'm going to teach you some things that can incorporate the things, right? But I want this to be personal to you and to see some of that. Because if I'm looking at, go back here, if I'm looking at this person, her, I know that she likes to draw. I know she probably likes to read. She loves plants. She probably does yoga and plays guitar. I don't have a guitar. I don't play guitar. So I'm learning things about her by looking at her artwork, which is really neat. Some people have added animals, have added other rooms. I'm actually going to do a tutorial next week on how to extend it and draw things like it looks like it's going back into space if you want to do that. Some people have a person with them. Some people have a giant family with them. Some people have made it a chaotic situation just because it's funny. And as you look through these, you can see, like, you can kind of draw inspiration for maybe you don't want a dinosaur staring in through a window or whatever that weird creature is, but maybe you really like the way the window is done. Or maybe you don't want these things in this room back here, but you can draw inspiration from the fact that there is a room back there. Do you know what I mean? So you can use some of these artworks that other people are creating for your own inspiration. So we're going to break it down. So here's what you guys have to do this week. This is a project. It's going to take a couple weeks. Here's what you're doing this week. All you have to do is you have to create a list of, move your faces. Create a list of 10 things you would like to have with you in your ideal coronavirus quarantine room. So don't like pass any judgments. You're not going to have to put every single thing in there. Don't put a bunch of judgment on like what exactly you put in there. You can change your mind later, but 10 things that you would like to have with you. I would like plants. I would like my cat. I would like my puppy. I would like some coffee and a coffee maker. I would probably like some kind of map and travel related things because I have that decoration. I guess my husband can come. I mean, you like think about who you would want with you. Would you want anybody with you, or would you want to go solo? Do you want a TV? Do you want a laptop? Do you want an iPad? Like, what do you want in your room? Do you want a gaming system? It's totally up to you. It's your whole imagination. Do you want to be like, you can even put things like, I want to be to where I can look out the window and see the Eiffel Tower, or I want to be to where like I have sliding doors and I'm on a beach. I would very much like to be somewhere where there's mountains. So think about your ideal place. And then, so that's the first thing. The second thing you have to do this week is either print or draw out a template of the room for next week's assignment. I know that not everybody has a printer at home. If you do, so right after this class is over, your Google assignment will post on Google Classroom. And so on there is going to be the slideshow. If you want to work ahead, you can even look at the rest of the slideshow. It's going to be a template for that room that the artist shared. And so you can print that out if you want to, because it's linked on there. So you can just go there and print it out. If you don't have a printer though, you can look at this and do the best you can at drawing it, or you can just draw a room and draw like the floor here. You could draw like the floor and then the wall, that wall, that wall, that wall. If you want, and you're drawing it yourself, you don't have to include a staircase. So I'll leave that up to you. So just like, since we're here's the template. So since we're brainstorming and we're like on a class here, so can y'all try to pull up the chat and share like at least one thing that if you were stuck in a quarantine space that you would want to have with you? I'm pulling up the chat. computer, all the dog, Xbox, puppy. And so what I'm going to do, if you haven't commented yet, still comment. What I'm going to do is the list that you guys upload, you're going to take that list of 10 and upload it to Google Classroom. That's all you have to turn into me this week, is that list of 10 things. I'm going to look at y'all's lists. So that's why it's important that you turn things in too. I'm going to look at your list and say, okay, 10 people want an Xbox. Can I teach you how to draw an Xbox, or can I upload a tutorial on a simple way to doodle an Xbox, or maybe I can make little videos on how to do each thing. So that way you know, or you can kind of pick and choose your own adventure. So I want to use all your books. Yes, I want to use those lists to kind of help lead what I'm going to teach next week. And next week we're going to talk about how do you start drawing it, and we're going to start drawing. If you are an overachiever and you're just really, really bored at home and you want to start drawing things in your little room, go on ahead. Totally up to you. You can look at the rest of this slideshow, which has, like, this link has all the examples on it. And then there's a ton of other examples that I've put on here for you guys to reference. And I even have a video about drawing your room in perspective, so you can work ahead a little bit if you want to. But again, 20 minutes a week is all you need from me. So this is what we're doing. List of 10 things. That's the only thing you have to turn in, but then prepare your template for your room. So does anybody have any questions? If you do, you can unmute. If you have questions about turning things in previously, or about this project, or about what we're doing for next week. Okay. Well, class is almost over. That's about 20 minutes. I'm excited about it. I like creating things that are related to what we're doing now. By the way, I don't know if you guys have filled out your schedule forms for next year, but you should take art, because I want to have you actually physically in class, and I miss seeing your faces, because I was so excited about the 4th 9 weeks people that were in there. But your artwork's looking awesome, and it puts a smile on my face every single time you turn something in. So I love it. iPad, yes. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to end class. It was so good seeing all your faces, and Briar's peanut drawing on there. You missed the A, man. Okay, bye, guys.